Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to what's
Punch
tonight?
drunk.
Punch drunk on a
Punch
Thursday
drunk.
night.
Yes.
Thursday night.
There's
Thursday night.
nothing wrong with that. We have a big bowl of punch over here that we plan on drinking tonight.
We
And
do.
can't wait to hear what all recipes you guys come to share tonight. It's gonna be fun.
This is a subject we've never done before, and
We have not done this before.
we've talked about wine and beer and cocktails and whiskeys and limoncello, all kinds of stuff, but we've not done punch.
Punch. I'd like to drink some right now.
You would?
I would.
Well, we still have people coming in from the waiting room.
Well, they need to come on.
Because
Come on in.
this is an exciting subject. Everybody wants to get punch drunk.
Your day.
So let us cheers. We have our fancy punch glasses, everybody, and we have to make sure that we don't spill them. So let us cheers to a wonderful night of fellowship and fun conversation and talking about punch.
Punch.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
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 We obviously have got a long-standing family recipe of a holiday punch we would always drink around Christmas and New Year's. We never would drink it for Thanksgiving, would we?
Well, long-standing, we didn't start drinking it until the 80s, early 80s.
Well, that's pretty
A
long-standing.
long time ago, darling.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't even old enough. You started drinking it. I didn't.
Yes, I did.
I was only 6 years old then.
It was better than
7
the
years
cold
old.
duck that my grandmother used to
Oh,
give
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah.
God, cold
Yeah.
duck.
Old duck.
Let us
So yes,
glance real quick.
once
See,
they found this recipe, they started making this all the time, and that's what we did. So
yeah, and
and we're
hopefully,
enjoying it tonight with all of you.
yeah, hopefully everybody's got one to share. If you don't, it's no big deal. Boy, look at all the hands up.
I like it.
It's good.
Get those hands up.
That's really good.
Stick them up.
But hey, this is what we talked about the last time on the YouTube live stream is nobody that's in this Zoom needs to be watching YouTube. You need to be enjoying this. Let all the other millions of people on YouTube watch us, but
Wish they were here drinking with
you
us.
don't watch yourself on YouTube. You participate with us.
And watch it later.
Yeah.
Chris, I want to do my drink first because I'm waiting to put it together so I can drink it.
Let's do it.
But you are you're first in line. You raised your hand first, so we're going to let you go first.
We remove our spotlight.
You start with this, which is a simply
Lemonade.
raspberry lemonade. And I've got it I wrote this in the thing yesterday. The whole recipe is there with a couple of other ones. But this is my favorite. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. All right, this goes in here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's too much. Whoa, whoa.
Ain't gonna be enough room for
She knows her recipe, Chris.
Yeah.
It's called the skinny bikini.
Ooh,
Okay.
we all would like to have
dig
one of
it.
those.
I want one of
It's
them.
1 3/4 cup of coconut rum. And that goes.
Oh, look,
Yes,
look at
just
that.
Whoa.
give it a straw.
And then 1 cup of amaretto.
Oh, I'm so happy you're coming on the cruise.
Man, look at that.
See? Almost fills it up. Give it a good stir. Because you got to mix everything in there. You don't want to leave anything out.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That looks good.
Oh my goodness.
Looks
Easy. That's what I like.
I want some of that.
Pour in some ice.
She is a pro.
This woman has got it going on.
Pour your drink. And done.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, Diane.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very nicely
I thought
done.
mine was easy.
It's
Wow.
good.
That is
Mixed
easy.
and done. I like it.
So that was impressive.
All right,
It's
so
easy.
the very first thing you put in there, what was it again? A lemonade?
Simply lemonade.
This is with the raspberry lemonade. It's in the refrigerated section with the juices.
Yes.
So yeah, it's raspberry simply lemonade Well, you
So
can
we
use
use
really
a-
any kind of flavor you want.
Mhm.
Then you use 1 1/3 cup of the coconut rum. And then 1 cup of amaretto.
I
That's
like how
perfect.
she's, you know, normally like when you're talking about rum and amaretto and alcohol and stuff, you're talking about like ounces and
Yeah.
stuff. I like 1.5 cups and 1 cup this and that.
And pour it in. So Chris and I drink we call it
Yeah.
pink drink, but it's a raspberry lemonade, and we drink coconut rum in it. So I've never thought about adding amaretto to
It'll be
it,
good.
but I'm digging it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good. I can't
I
wait.
had this at a wedding and it was so good. There was like 200 people. They had 2 5-gallon containers, you know, with
Yeah.
the spouts and stuff. They ran out in half an hour,
Wow,
Half an hour.
man.
but it
But that
was
was a
good.
party and wedding.
That's like equal parts booze. That's terrific.
Yeah, that's really good.
It is good.
Thank you, Diane. That was amazing.
Welcome.
Do you need more?
Okay, Mel, go ahead.
Okay, this is what I made. I always do occasion night when we go on our family camping trip.
Mhm.
And I didn't make it tonight because it makes a lot and I really didn't want to drink that much. So it's Picture Hurricane. I got it off the internet. It goes really well with John's Jambalaya. So we really like that. That's something I make. It's a staple at all our summer camping trips. But it's got 4 cups of white rum. And I think I used Old Morgan on both the rums, and 4 cups of dark rum. So that would be a half a cup and a half a cup. 4 cups of passion fruit juice. I could not find that. So I made, I used high C, I think, cherry or raspberry or some fruit flavor or mini berry or whatever it's called. And the pineapple juice, and then the 1.5 cups of orange juice and a half a cup of lime juice. And I used fresh lime juice and 1/4 cup of grenadine. And I put it all in a pitcher and then poured it into our little hurricane glasses. I gave everybody one the first year, and now they always bring them so we can make it and have it. It really packs a punch. It doesn't sound like that much alcohol, but
Yeah, it
it really
does.
Yeah, it does.
have some alcohol.
If you add everything up, there's actually 1/4 cup more alcohol than there is anything else.
Thank you for that.
Of course, you did that in your head very quickly, Carl.
Yeah, good job.
Of course, Carl.
We
But
love
yeah,
it.
it's really good. I don't know if it's a true hurricane. Like I said, I got it off the internet. My family doesn't know. We're all from the Midwest, so it sounded good to us. But that's what we do.
Yeah, there you
Now
go.
I don't know how to get this off of here. So
Good job.
Mel,
That was
can I tell you where to get the passion fruit juice?
where?
You go to any Latin American store and they
Oh,
have it on the frozen section. They have it frozen. So you can have it in your freezer. And when you need it, you just take out the amount that you need it, put some water in it, and you reconstitute it.
cool. Thank you. That because I would like to try it with the real
It's-
passion.
Yes, the passion fruit juice is really good. So
Yummy, yummy. Sounds good, Mel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. very good. Good screen share. You did a good job.
That was my first.
Yeah,
Yay!
very good.
Hey.
I took a picture of it.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
good.
that's good.
Okay. Go ahead, Umzi.
I am going to introduce you to what we call in the South our Baptist wedding punch, which is also called rainbow sherbet punch. And it can or cannot be alcoholic. It's up to you. And it has Hawaiian punch, Sprite, and rainbow sherbet. And it's really beautiful because the sherbet floats and you've got the greens and the pinks and the oranges and greens all kind of floating around in it.
You get the rainbow sherbet, right?
Yes, the rainbow sherbet, even though it's good with most anything.
Amen, bro.
All right,
I'm
thank
with
you,
you,
Umzi.
Umzi.
All
Okay.
right, Dee.
Go ahead, D.
Okay, so I didn't make it either because it makes too much for just, I'd be drinking it for the next month. But this sparked a day-long text between me and my 5 siblings because back in the 60s, we grew up with my mother always making punch for her lady friends, for all her gatherings. And we as youngsters, tweens, early teens, loved to make it for her. She had the big punch bowl with the glasses that hung on the side and the ladle, and very 60s type of a setup and very big thing. We would make a fruit ring, frozen fruit in a ring that would float. It would definitely have the sherbet in it. It would float. But we weren't Baptists, so it did have alcohol in it. And sometimes she would put a bottle of cold duck, or that was the sparkling wine at the time, cold duck, or my sister asked her, because we were all trying, I have the recipe somewhere, but it didn't make it into this RV yet. I have to figure out where that recipe tin is. But it was basically, do you remember when juice came in a frozen can?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still does.
So, well, not too much anymore, but I guess it still does. So
does.
what I was able to compile from my siblings was a can of peach juice, apricot, or orange juice. One, it didn't match. She never made it the same twice. Sparkling water or 2-liter bottle of ginger ale. And definitely the sherbet, either lemon, depending on what flavors, or the rainbow, and the floating fruit ring. But we used to make that when she was having her lady friends over or going to an event. We used to love to make this with her, and she would make it at home without alcohol for us. But it was very, very similar to what you said, Umzi. But like I said, when she made it for her lady friends, and the fruit ring would have the canned fruit would always add more cherries to it. So there was lots of more, as the fruit ring melted, there was lots of maraschino cherries floating around in it.
Mm.
So it was really fun. And then my sister, who works at a retirement facility in New Jersey, she says, my work does rainbow sherbet, guava juice, cranberry juice, and ginger ale.
Okay, yeah.
So, so I have to thank you because it sparked a day-long conversation back
That's
and
good.
forth between my sisters and I.
That's
Not
fantastic.
that we don't do it anyway, but it brought back a lot of good memories from
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we were young.
Nice.
That's
That's
cool.
great.
That's great.
That's a good story.
Thank you, Dee.
So that was fun. Thanks.
Yep. Tina?
Well, I too did not make this one because nobody likes it but me. And it makes too much. But this has always been one of my favorite Christmas time punches. You take egg in your bowl, your punch bowl, you take eggnog ice cream and 2 of the, what are those, the quarts of eggnog, like a half gallon of eggnog, and put it in there. Dark rum. I always like to use Myers dark rum because it just seemed to be thicker and a little, it's such a heavy punch that just added to the heaviness of it. And then you top it with 7-Up or Sprite, lemon lime soda, and then dust nutmeg over the top of it. And it's
Wow.
really good. If you like eggnog, it's very, very creamy, and it's a really, really good Christmas punch.
I was gonna say very much a holiday punch. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it like a room temperature punch?
No, you make sure everything is cold
Oh, did I
when
miss
you
ice
put it
cream?
together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eggnog
Yeah.
ice cream, then eggnog.
Cool.
So you can use eggnog ice cream, and sometimes that's hard to find. So I have made it with vanilla ice cream, but eggnog ice cream is actually better. If you're going to have to use vanilla ice cream, then I would suggest using a good vanilla ice cream, like a vanilla bean or a French vanilla, and a good dark rum. with it, and then just dust the top with a little bit of nutmeg. And it's so good. It's so good.
Mhm.
Very filling,
Sounds
very
Yeah.
decadent.
yeah.
It sounds like a dessert.
It
Yeah.
sounds
It
wonderful.
almost is, Gina. It almost is like a dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess if you wanted to, usually when I would make it real thick in the beginning. And then as the night kind of wore on, you kind of wound up with a little bit more 7-Up in it and less ice cream and more of just like eggnog in it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
because you can only drink so much of that heaviness of it, but it's
Right.
really good.
I bet so. Go ahead, Kevin.
I was going to say that down here in Florida, the Hispanics, the Mexicans and whatever, have a drink that's similar to that. That has, it's almost like an eggnog, and they actually do a raw egg in it when they make it up with the liquor.
Wow.
It is
Mhm.
really good.
Raw.
Good to-
Wow.
Yeah, it has an egg in it when they mix it up to give it more velvety texture or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'll have to figure out how to spell it, but it's cojito
Concha
or something like
crema.
that.
What?
Concha crema.
Cocha crema.
I'll find the spelling.
Okay.
Did you hear Lucia? Say it again, Lucia. He didn't hear you.
Concha crema.
Poncha crema.
Ponche crema?
Concha crema.
Yeah.
It's spelled different than that and
Yeah.
sounds different than that, but it's probably the same thing.
Cream punch, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you, Tina.
Yep. Hey, Macy.
I never thought of eggnog as a punch. And eggnog is the only thing that I've ever put together in a bowl. So because I didn't think that, I did something different. I had made apple cider, homemade apple cider for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And so this was the punch that I made today.
Oh,
Ooh,
That's
happy-
Very pretty.
Yeah. It's really good. I've never made punch before. As I said, I never thought of eggnog as
oh,
punch.
that's-
So I've never made punch. I probably had it at a baby shower or something. I don't know, but anyway, I wasn't impressed with it. But this came out really good. I had the homemade apple cider. So when I was looking through punch recipes, I saw this one. I was looking through them for tonight, and I saw this one. It's cider, ginger ale, cranberry juice, and yes, Dee, they still sell the frozen orange juice because that's in the recipe. And then you just put, as you saw in the picture, some apple, what do you call those things? Orange peels and cranberries to float in it. And oh yeah, well, of course, the captain's in there too. Well, it's a spice drum. You have to put it in with the apple cider. I mean, it just goes.
Yeah.
So, but I had never tried it before, but it's very tasty, folks. It's
Tasty.
It
very
looks
good.
very tasty, so I
It-
could
it
only
looks-
imagine it would be.
Yes,
Yeah, it
it's
looks
very
beautiful.
It
And
was,
it's
it
right there
really-
beside of you, so you can just keep sipping all night.
Yeah,
You don't even have to get up to go get
I
it.
didn't have a glass cup, so I'm using the regular,
That's
the
all right.
China
Cheers.
cup.
The cups, the cups, the
But yeah,
cups.
it came out very good. I was pleased with it. I'm gonna save the recipe.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very
Good.
pretty.
And
Good
it's simple enough. I mean, it's cider, ginger ale, cranberry juice, and some frozen orange juice. And you mix it in, and it goes together. And throw some fruit in, and that's it.
Yeah,
And some captain. Don't forget the
Oh
captain.
yeah, don't forget the captain.
yeah.
Hey, Macy, you were pleased with punch, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Good job.
Thank you. And we aim to please, right? So we got Dee talking to her family today, or this whatever they chatted about it, and Michelle's never made a punch before. Now she's explored out and made a punch.
Yeah.
And I cut the recipe, the online recipe, in half because
Yeah,
I have to drink it all myself. So
Mhm.
can't go too crazy with 2 quarts of punch here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's 4 cups of cider, 2 cups of ginger ale, 2 cups of cranberry juice, and one of those cans of frozen orange juice, and that's it.
and since it has juice in it, you can have it for breakfast if you don't drink it all tonight.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Kevin and Kathy. She's like
All
the
right.
hostess with the mostest, so she's bound to have a good punch
Oh
recipe.
yeah.
I found out how to spell it. It's actually a Puerto Rican eggnog. It's COQUITO''S.
Oh,
Coquitos.
Keto.
Yes.
C-O-Q, coquito recipe. Okay.
It's
Well,
really
Kevin,
good.
when I used to make the eggnogs, we used to put the raw eggs in it back before they told you can't do that.
Right.
When I
There's
made
nothing wrong with raw eggs.
when I made homemade eggnog, it had raw eggs in it, and it was fabulous. And I
Yeah.
served
Absolutely.
everyone else.
Yeah.
I remember my grandparents putting raw eggs in it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My dad did too.
They had two. They made two different ones. They made one without alcohol for the kids,
Right.
and they made one with alcohol for them, and that they put raw eggs in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. Go ahead, Kevin and Kathy.
So mine's like Umzi's. It was a wedding punch. Actually, at our wedding, we had raspberry sherbet because I had pastel rainbow colors in my wedding. But I like the pineapple sherbet punch because I really like pineapple sherbet.
Yeah.
You chill all the stuff, the ginger ale, the pineapple juice. It's a 2-liter thing of ginger ale or 7-Up, 46-ounce can of pineapple juice. After you get that in your punch bowl, then you add a quart of vanilla ice cream and a quart of pineapple sherbet, and you scoop it in there with a large spoon or a ice cream scoop, and it is delicious.
I had that before.
It makes like 32 servings. So no, I did not make this because it's got way too much sugar for me to have right now. But yes, it's delicious. But we had raspberry sherbet for our wedding, and then my bridal shower I had the lime sherbet. So yes, the sherbets are the way to go.
Yep. That's what makes a punch, in my opinion.
So darn good. Oh my gosh.
And it helps them stay cold too, right?
Yes, it does.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good share.
Awesome.
Yep.
So were yours alcoholic?
No, Southern Baptist girlfriend.
Mine too. Yep.
That's okay. We partied the night before the wedding, so it's all good.
Mhm. I was gonna say y'all both made up for it since then.
Yeah.
That was my family's first dry reception. My family's all Catholics and all alcoholics. So,
Well, that was
That
wedding.
must have been a surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, they got over it.
Yeah. That's funny. Thank you, Kathy.
That's
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, John and Lori.
Well, we did 2 punches. We did the eggnog, and then last year we did the milk punch. So those recipes are out there if anybody wants to look at them. But this year, I'll let John tell you.
Well, this year, like everything, I got to tell you a story. A lot of times when Lori and I go to a nice bar, we'll get something different. And one that comes to mind is we were at the Mona Leon Hotel in New Orleans, and the bar there is a carousel. And so you actually sit at the carousel, and the bartender's in the center. He doesn't move, but all of the patrons move around the bartender. And it takes about an hour to go all the way around. And so what I'll do is I'll say, I want an island drink. What do you suggest? And most of the time it's based on rum, and most of the time it has pineapple juice in it. So we decided to do an island punch. We're on the island, Mon. So we started with rum, and we added pineapple juice, we added orange juice, and then to give it a little coconut flavor and some sweetness, we did coconut cream in it. And so this is our island punch. that we made. And we had cherries, so we threw some cherries on it. And we cooked with someone you all know, and we made some toasted coconut for the top. We had some left, so we dressed it with coconut. And so that's our island punch.
And
How
you
did-
can make it in quantity.
How did you get the coconut to stick? What did you use?
Honey.
We-
That's another story, but
we tried water and it wouldn't stick. We tried pineapple juice and it wouldn't stick. But the coconut cream is really thick. It's the consistency of condensed milk. So I took a swab and I just dotted all around, and then I turned the glass upside down and I sprinkled the coconut on it, and then we set the glasses aside, and so it dries out a little bit, so it really does stick well. But coconut cream.
But
Nice.
I never thought about using coconut cream for a rim. But in case you care or ever want to use it another way, I don't know how it would have gone with your drink, but I use honey for the rim. Just dip it in honey and then dip it in the
That'd be good.
toasted coconut.
Oh
That's
yeah, honey.
yeah, I
would
do
have done
that with
well.
the, with the mimosas, the Hawaiian mimosas.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
a,
that.
that's a really pretty drink. I think the only thing that could probably make it prettier is to get like a little float of 151 on top of that. Wouldn't that be good? 151 rum, just like a little drip. That would just make it even better.
Make it like
No, that's beautiful. Good job.
nice.
All right, thank you guys. All right, Carl and Loren.
So I have a story. I don't have a recipe. And in fact, we were just going to sit here quietly because a couple days ago and then this morning, we're like, do we know anything about punch? And Carl's like, I never had punch. And I'm like, I never had punch. And so we're like, oh, well, okay. And then someone just now said maraschino cherries.
And the punch came back.
And I was like, oh my God, I remember this scene where I was like, I think it was I can't remember where it was, but we kept going back to the same place every year. And I was the only girl amongst 5 boys. And they were like 2 years older, 5 years older, 10 years older, but it was always me and the guys. And I remember standing around the punch bowl.
And you were like, what, 5?
I must have started this thing at like 5 or 6. And I remember it so well. It's like reaching in to get the maraschino cherry out, going like this, and all of us doing the thing, licking whatever was on the maraschino, dipping it back to the punch bowl, and doing that over and over again. And the 5 boys were doing the same until someone caught us and ran us off. About that, probably 55 years.
I'm actually mildly shocked that with all of the elaborate entertaining that your mother did and you did, that you never were punch people.
No, it wasn't never. There wasn't a punch bowl to be had anywhere.
Wow.
And so I were like, no. So, but I have to think about where we were, but it was truly disgusting.
I guess everybody was like licking and dipping and licking and dipping.
But it must have been like tons of alcohol in it.
I was going to say, hopefully you had a lot of alcohol.
I'm sure it did.
All germs were not a problem.
Exactly. But we put early to bed for this group of kids, I'm sure. I'm going to have to call somebody and see if they remember where that was.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
But overall,
it's
really cool to see all these different recipes. And, I hope somebody watches this on YouTube because this is really good stuff.
Yeah, we're providing a wonderful service to humanity right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So none of you guys on here, like at your schools for dances or any kind of parties at the schools, they didn't have big punch bowls or fountains or anything?
No.
I mean,
They were worried about what would be
ever
in the
had
food.
at school was punch.
Yeah.
Gina, that was a long,
Spike
long
it.
time ago.
No, not me. Yeah, but I mean, because it was our goal to spike that punch bowl. Like every time we'd go, it was who could get to it and spike it first without being caught. Yeah.
When I went to school, punch hadn't been invented yet.
Oh boy. Crazy.
All right.
There's lots of hunch punch out there.
That's what I was fixing to say. We had Hunch Punch and Purple Passion. That's all you needed before and after the party.
I mean, we used to take big tall trash cans, and we made PJ in it, fruit and juices and just Everclear, just anything we could get in it. We make big tall trash can fulls. None of y'all ever did that.
We
Yeah,
did it with
jungle
sangria.
We did something called jungle juice, and we
Yes.
generally used an ice chest and
Yeah.
made it in the ice chest,
Yeah.
and it
That's
was
the same thing.
whatever anybody had plus some fillers.
Yeah, that's the
Same.
exact same thing. We just
Same
called it PJ, and it was whatever people put in it, and we all drank it. We didn't remember it, but we drank it because it
Not
was
me.
all gone.
That was way after my time, or way before my time.
Way before your
I-
time, baby.
My
You couldn't have hung.
my days didn't
You
do
couldn't.
that.
You couldn't do that. You
Nah.
were too straight.
We
and
used to
narrow.
boil up mushrooms.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
gracious.
I did that one time. Never again.
yeah. You could add
Okay.
some psychedelics.
We got Bernie raised his hand. Go ahead, Bernie.
Well, I don't have, well, it's sort of a punch story. My late wife, she worked in an upscale department store, and she worked in the silver, crystal, and china area. So we had this humongous Waterford crystal punch bowl.
Wow.
And
Wow.
there was a family punch recipe that I didn't even think to text my daughter and see if she'd get it for me, but I don't remember it, but it was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story.
And you would pull it out for special occasions and make the punch in that beautiful bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the one that your grandmother had, was it?
Crystal.
It was crystal,
Mhm.
wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We would always make
With Anchor Hawking.
Yeah. Thank you, Bernie.
That's
good.
awesome.
Yep.
Fun time.
Waterford doesn't produce that anymore. When I was over in Ireland, they had closed down the plant.
Wow.
They couldn't get the crystal that you make. They couldn't get the chemical that you make the crystal with.
Lead.
Chemical's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Lead.
We had a really nice, or Gina's grandmother had a really nice crystal punch bowl and a nice ladle and stuff. But we wouldn't use the glasses that came with the set because they weren't big enough.
They're too small.
We're like, the hell with that. We got to have
Yes.
something we can have a little more quantity in.
It's kind of like these glasses we're drinking out of tonight. Like
Yeah.
I've had like 4 of these already, and I don't feel like I've drunk anything. I'm like, I want some. Did I just spill it?
Yeah, you did.
It's like I want some substance here.
Well, these are our
Little martini glasses.
little martini glasses that we brought on with us that we've acquired. Okay, so no more hands raised. So I guess Gina and I will go. And Gina says that she remembers this recipe from the early 80s.
Early 80s.
And I came into the family much later than that, but I remember this recipe from the time I came in. That's why I love this family so much. They welcomed me in immediately, and they let me drink before I was 21. They gave me a car to drive when my father took my car away. They let me, have my way with their daughter without them being concerned about it at my age.
They
I mean,
basically spoiled you rotten.
they spoiled me
They
rotten.
did.
I just love them so much, and
More so than me, actually.
yeah. But when I first came into the family, Christmases were huge. They had extended family that were coming in, and they would always come to Gina's mother's house. So Christmases were 20, 30 people in the house, and the punch was flowing all night long. And so this recipe is that one from all the years, and we have slowed down on it, the past probably 6 to 8 years, I guess. I mean,
Mhm.
our daughter knows the recipe and she likes it.
She makes
so,
it. She usually makes it somewhere around Christmas, New Year's,
Yeah.
and it stores fine. I mean, if
Yeah.
you store it in the refrigerator and drink it the next day or two, but not after 2 or 3 days. I wouldn't.
But it is. Does
But
it have a title? Or we just call
I
it.
don't know. We just call it punch.
We call it champagne punch.
Champagne punch is what we
Champagne
call
punch
it.
is what
So
we call
it is cranberry juice and orange juice. Very simple recipe. Cranberry juice and orange juice, lemon juice, and a little bit of sugar, like 3/4 or a cup of sugar for the full recipe, and a bottle of white wine and 2 bottles of champagne.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it is so yummy. It is just so yummy.
It is.
And we throw some ice ring or something in it, makes it real pretty, or some dry ice to make some steam. It's really pretty.
And you pour you mix all the ingredients together except for the champagne,
Until
and then
the
right
last minute.
before the party starts, then you pour the champagne in, and it has the fizz and everything to it, which is
So
really
then, so tonight, what we did was we did a bottle of wine and a bottle of champagne, right?
we halved it. We halved the recipe, and then we halved it again.
Yes.
And then we.
But we still used a bottle
We
of
still
wine.
used a bottle of wine and a bottle
of
of
champagne.
No, we didn't do a full bottle of wine.
We didn't?
No.
Oh.
No, we didn't do a full
So
bottle
my
of wine.
dumb ass,
But
let
we
me tell you
do
what
a
I
full
did.
bottle of champagne.
So I wrote a recipe in half so Chris could go by the store to pick up wine and something, cranberry juice. And then he's like, well, a half's probably still going to be too much. So let's half the half. So when I made it, I was halving the recipe except for the lemon juice. So it was a little tart. And I was like, shit, I just really messed that up. So I had to add a little bit of sugar, and I had to add a little bit more cranberry juice to it, a little bit more wine, but
That's
it worked
good.
out. Yeah.
It works out great.
Did
That's
you
okay.
say again the ingredients?
The ingredients are, the full ingredients for the full thing is 40 ounces of cranberry juice. I'm giving you the full recipe, not the half, the full recipe. 1 quart of orange juice, a half a cup of lemon juice, a cup of sugar, a bottle of white wine, and we use a dry white wine when we use it.
Her grandmother's recipe was the big glass bottle of rounded bulbous bottle of Chablis.
Yes.
That's what
she would use.
That's what she would use.
And then 2 bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
And you can use Prosecco, but yeah. And that's it. And you mix the juices, all your juices with the sugar, and stir it around until the sugar dissolves, and then add your wine, and then just wait for the champagne to the end, or to you right before you're ready to serve it. What was I going to say about that though? You can tweak that lemon juice a little bit, and you can tweak the sugar a little bit if you want. Like, you don't want it quite as tart or sweet.
That would require a big punch bowl.
It does.
It was a big.
It was a
bowl.
huge punch bowl.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Hers, the one we had was, it was that big around at the bottom probably, and then it just flared out.
It was tall.
And it was
probably that tall.
Yeah, it was over 1.5 feet circumference easily
yeah.
around at the top. I mean, it held a bunch.
Mhm.
Yeah, huge.
But making in quantity like that is great for parties because you can try cocktails, and wine works and beer works because people kind of get their own thing. But cocktails can get really expensive at parties like that. But you can throw some stuff into a punch bowl, and people just sit there and sip on it and love it. You don't have to garnish it. You don't have to do anything.
I don't ever really recall having somebody turn their nose up to that recipe either.
No,
like
never.
anybody that always got a ladle full of it loved it.
Yes.
Yeah. So good. Well, that was a good conversation. No more hands are raised. We're drinking punch. Some other people are drinking punch.
Good.
Nice recipe shares.
Mm-hmm.
everybody can, they got a new arsenal of stuff to make for holiday
Holidays.
festive gatherings.
Mhm.
It's
Very
good.
nice.
Good job, everybody.